fail. So, a potential a person who is spotted need not necessarily be a superstar or a rock star always, and it's okay to have your lows and highs and whatever, but consistent performance is definitely important. Like I said, not necessarily in college the person is great, also will perform at the state level. So providing that environment, and that is why I think HR has a very key role to play along with line and business to ensure that we have an environment besides the processes and the tools to ensure that people feel safe in that environment, and talent is appropriately groomed and grown, and they stay with the organization rather than creating jumping jacks, you know and people who become rolling stones. All right, so with that, thank you, and I pass it on to sir.
Thank you, Aparna. Now let's hear to one of our other colleagues who's also from a multinational. He is Mr. Umesh Dhal. He is Vice President HR and MS in LG Electronics, India Private Limited. So Mr. Dhal, please.
Good afternoon, everybody. Honorable Chairman of the session, luminaries sitting on the dais, and all other professional colleagues who are present in this session. We are talking about the challenges in the field of talent management. We all understand talent is the most important thing today, which makes or breaks the organization. We are all in the business for the sustainable growth, for making profits, and passing on this business to generations coming next to us. In that endeavor, it is our prime responsibility to attract and place the talent in the organization, as well as develop and nurture the available talent. My dear friends, it's very easy to say, but slightly, or rather critically difficult to do this. We all understand that getting the right person with right attitude and putting him at the right place itself is a big challenge. It's not that we have scarcity of talent in the field today. We do have people available, but we don't have right people available. But attracting the right person for your organization, it's not that easy that we recruit people. Recruit people is an old and obsolete term. You have to attract talent. How do you attract talent? The most important thing today is to create EVP. We have to create employment value proposition in our organization, which is the key word or key phenomena to attract the talent and retain the talent. There are many attributes which form the EVP. For example, for the attraction of talent, we all understand that two prominent factors which help. But beyond that, that does not make the commitment of that candidate, that does not really give you the full engagement of that person. For attracting the organization reputation and compensation. These are two primary factors which can help you just attracting the talent. This is the reality of life. But to have commitment from that talent to perform for you, you have to provide the congenial, challenging, comfortable atmosphere, environment in the organization. And besides that environment, you have to provide the right leadership in that organization. These four things people primarily see when they switch over the job. If you have been successful in making or bringing that talent to your organization, then you have to take a step further. There are three more things which actually help these people to get excited, get committed, and perform what you want from them. Those three things are respect in the organization, involvement in the organization, decision making in the organization. Why I'm saying these three words? Because these are interlinked. If you just bring the talent, shelve it, they're going to run away. You don't want that. You really want to use that talent. So if you want to use that talent, involve them, give them authority, give them respect. And if you give them respect, they will really emotionally get committed towards the organization. There are two commitments which you want those candidates for the organization: rational commitment and emotional commitment. If they really have these two commitments for the organization, believe you me, our organization is going to meet all the business challenges in the field, and we are on the right track. But you know, these pointers does not give you the details. When you go back in your organization, please analyze. We do it in detail. What is the top management leadership style? What is the overall management leadership style? What are the different level of leaderships available in the organization? How comfortable and how congenial they are? How connective they are towards the new talent? How collaborative they are with each other? How co-working they are with each other? All these factors, if the HR thoroughly analyzes, then we can really help bringing the talent, putting the talent in place, and nurturing the talent for all our needs, whether the needs are present, the needs are futuristic, or whatever they may be. All other things which my fellow speakers have said, they are definitely there. We all know that procedurally or process-oriented organization, we need to have systems in place. Without robust PMS system, without robust recognition and reward system, all these things are useless. I'm speaking with a clear understanding that today, in this era, I don't think there are primitive type of organization which do not have these basic things in place. I'm sure all of us who are sitting here, they must be having some PMS system in place, some reward and recognition system in place. But what lacks is the force to drive those systems, the objectivity, the clarity, the transparency, the actual leadership to drive that, because the alignment is missing. I am in the HR field for more than 30 years. As my colleagues said, earlier HR used to be the backstage management people. Today we are front runners. I have slightly different opinion about it. All the progressive organizations, that time also had a very, very important role for HR to play, and today, needless to say, we drive the business. It's not that sale or manufacturing alone drive the business. It's the talent management people who help in driving the business. But yes, as I mentioned, the leadership, the compatibility and co-working, that's the key thing for nurturing the talent. I would like to give you few examples which we have implemented and found it very, very useful. For example, we have bottom-up approach for all our business related issues. We have created a culture where we focus on the bottom-up approach. From the front line to the senior most decision maker, there has to be a very seamless flow of information, seamless flow of business understanding, seamless flow of target understanding. Because it's not the top who's going to achieve the target, it's the front that's going to achieve the targets. So they start that this year we are ready to achieve this. And by the time it is finalized at the senior level, we all understand that there is a strong ownership and buying in of all levels. And for achieving that, if we want to reshape the organization or we have to replace some of the talents in the organization for the next year, we do that. How we do that? Because we have all the plans in place, what succession planning is, what rotation planning is, what talent complementing each other planning is. Some of the leaders are very good, but they are short of some part of the business. So if you place a next person who has that talent, so they complement each other and they fulfill the desired requirement of that vertical. Besides the bottom-up approach, another important tool is consensus management. Gone are the days when we used to we used to impose our decisions. No, this is the top driven, you do it. The junior says, no, sir, it is not practical, these are the side effects and we'll lose our market share. Oh, no, MD said you do it. No more exists in the system. The wearer knows where the shoe pinches. Therefore, there has to be a strong consensus before we put a decision for real-time execution. Once the consensus is built, the execution goes swift, fast, and that's the need of the business. Once decided, the execution without wasting any time before the competition reacts, we act. Similarly, some of the operational level decision making must go down to the front level, must go down to the level where the decision is required. So the necessary delegation and authority has to be given to your talent. If you really trust your talent, then you must give them the requisite needed authority so that they feel proud, they feel the ownership, and they feel real faster than the other competition in acting in their day-to-day decision making. When I said that the consensus management, bottom-up approach, and decision making, in the business language, nothing can be left unchecked. So you have to have a very robust, seamless review mechanism. So we have developed the review mechanism, the weekly basis, monthly basis, half-yearly basis, and yearly basis. Why this much of review mechanism? Because mistakes should not be carried forward for a long time. Opportunity loss should not be there for a longer time. If you do not do it faster, if you do not repair or you do not support the teams who are fighting for business faster, they may lose on the opportunity in the marketplace. They may lose the business in the marketplace. So therefore, the faster review gives faster support to the people who need it the most. The business scenario gets sufficient with this kind of inputs and handling these kind of challenges, but needless to say, the last important thing which everybody so-called talented or in the gambit of talent management looks for is the need for his own development and future growth. EVP does not get complete if we do not add these two ingredients to that. That's the need of their personal development and future growth path. So the HR has the foremost responsibility to provide these two things in a structured way, but still with consensus management, still with a feeling in that candidate that yes, he has been taken care of. We try to give one-on-one caring meetings to all these candidates. Every boss, every leader has to sit with his reportees. We call it one-on-one caring interview. It's a closed-door discussion only between that candidate and the leader. They decide what's your career plan, where are we in 1 year's time, and where we want to go in next 3 years' time. This is sealed, registered in the system, and we review periodically how far we are on the track. So candidate knows very clearly where I am going to be. On the development path, you have to identify the real high potential people, as we have done. All responsible people in the organization, whether it's the top leadership or departmental or functional leadership, they have to focus on these people, provide them the best of the opportunity to learn, provide them best of the opportunity to globally go abroad, learn the best skills, come back and contribute in the business. In turn, they get hooked in the organization, they know how they are progressing, where they are moving. And that's how the best of the talented people are retained in the organization. So my dear friends, I could reflect in some of the challenges and some of the practices which we follow in LG Electronics, getting a lot of inputs from the global guidelines, which really help us in giving best of the exposure to people abroad, people within the nation. And I'm sure if we follow some of these things, as we are moving in the right direction, the others can benefit out of it. One thing, my colleague mentioned about Ramayana. I don't know about the whole lot of learnings because every episode is a learning. As far as talent management is concerned, I could get one learning. Lord Ram, he was in jungle. Biggest of the trouble, he fought biggest of the war. He used local best talent available in that jungle. He found, or he met Hanumanji, he met other people, and he used everybody's strength and fought the biggest war in the history of mankind. So the talent usage is the best skill which every leader should understand. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Dhal. Thank you for letting us into some of the secrets of LG Electronics. Now, I'll call upon Mr. Jagirdar, Mr. Shashank Jagirdar. He's Director HR with DHL Supply Chain India Private Limited. So I hope he will let us into some of the secrets of the success and rise of DHL.
Thanks, Mr. Pati. I don't think I will be able to declare the secrets of the DHL, but well, thanks for giving me the opportunity here to speak on the dais. First, let me thank DMA and Dr. Ekta for very nice coordination to get me here. And from this session and panels in last 3 speakers, I must say that first speaker has already covered the clarity and the definition of talent management and acquisition, and all of us are now very, very clear on the concept. Aparna has covered mythological concept, which was backed by Mr. Bhal, that how Ram has used talent in the jungles, so that's great. My experience, I will just give illustration and example about my experiences in the recruitment and talent management, as well as challenges we faced in the recruitment. In the service industry, as you all know that we require people at a blue collar level, which is 80% recruitment, and 10 to 20% recruitment is into the management cadre. We go to campus interviews, and I have been going from my Onida days 20 years back for campus interviews, even in Voltas and in Jet Air. I have always seen, and even most funniest thing is that I was working in a travel industry. So when I went to campus interview in the college, where the postgraduates from travel industry who has studied for 2 years, and they were also, some of them were also graduates from travel industry. When we asked the simple questions like, what is the golden triangle for travel industry, they do not know. When we talk about travel tourism industry in Jet Air, and the curriculum still talks about the paper ticketing and not e-ticketing. So have we included or updated our curriculum and courses in last few years? You will be surprised to see that answer will be no. And I am not talking certainly about IITs and IIM or top 10 colleges, because they are certainly class apart. But the 80% of the colleges in the industry where young students aspire to become BBAs, MBAs on engineers, and parents like us push our students, our kids to such colleges, paying heavy donations, they end up into not getting jobs. I can give you the figures in Maharashtra. 40% college seats are empty and MBA seats are empty. So what are we driving? Are we driving a good curriculum and good students to come up to the colleges? Is there talent available? Is industry creating talent? These are always questions to my learned colleagues and all of us in HR, that is talent available? Answer is yes or no. Quality talent? Probably no, at majority classes. Because when we look at them and their energies at young student level, the curriculum is amazing. I was shocked to see a small college in Pune. For a management trainee, they were teaching competency mapping. Oh my God. How many of us can talk about competency mapping? And are we going to ask a question in the campus interview on competency mapping? For a management student, if he comes for the interview, what kind of interviews we will take? We will talk only on the basics, that what are the processes of recruitment? Do you know something about compensation and benefits? Do you know something on labor laws? Competency mapping will come after understanding of the process, understanding the jargons, and working in the industry for 10 years. So we are generally bombarding big names and the words to the students, and they are confused. Same as like students. Environment management and disaster management is a subject in 7th standard. It's most funniest thing. And our top ministers and leaders and the persons like me in the industry do not know anything about disaster management. So we don't teach that, we don't learn that. Why are we dumping these things to students? Why don't we have top-down approach? Fortunately, I see a sea change in recent past. In last 3 months, there are new things talked about, new concepts are being spoken about. There is a National Skill Development Authority being developed in India, and new government is talking in a big way under leadership of Human Resource Minister. And DHL is, I'm proud to say that DHL has already started working around on this 1 year back, and the challenges thrown to us that we have to train 10,000 students. So it is very difficult to take this challenge for 10,000 students, because I don't have bandwidth of so many teachers in DHL. But well, the government is also thinking of a realistic number, because earlier against that 10,000 number, the penalty was given. So now they are coming out with that penalty, even in amending in the Apprentice Act. So we should be thankful to the government at looking at even the labor laws. But coming back to the talent availability, when again I go to campus interview, as we know, all of us in HR field, we have 75% roles are transactional roles. How many roles we have transformational roles? Do we require really MBAs? Do we require so much of super duper qualified people in any of the industry? Fortunately or unfortunately, wherever I have worked, my 80 to 90% staff are coming within. As on today, DHL, we have 63% internal field. So all my site managers, even in UPS, Jet Air, all coming from the bottom line. My country manager in UPS was a truck driver 30 years back. In DHL, all my site managers have started from picker packer, and they are doing excellent job, and UPS and DHL are #1 companies globally. Even in company like Onida, very few MBAs and IITs and IIMs. DHL, we have only 5 to 10% IITs and IIMs. So I'm not saying that they are not good or bad. I'm not comparing, but what are we looking at? Where is the curriculum going? Are we trying to create for any army? You don't need so many brigadiers. You need many soldiers and some brigadiers. So there has to be a right fit and right talent fit for the requirement. And for certainly a top 20% of the people, every management, and so as my companies, DHL and all, we do so many best practices which I'll share in the last part. Mr. Dhal has spoken about very good examples about the talent acquisition and retention. I must say that I would like to add one point here, that transparency in communication is also one of the very important point. I have seen in my last 3 years with DHL, we have big town halls every quarter with all the site managers, and my 40% of the staff meets CEO in the town hall. And the top management talks about everything from the balance sheet to scores of every site and every details of the management. So all of my management team members till 60% of my employees know my targets, my turnover, and my capacities and the location, what is the performance required. So they are aligned and tuned with the business. So transparency in the communication is very important. The companies who have hiding their numbers, oh my God, we will have 2000 crore turnover next year, but how to go there, we don't know. So targets are thrown without clarity of communication. That is most important while making people happy and retaining the talent. We have recruited management trainees from Delhi College of Engineering, REC Surakkal, and all the top engineering colleges, around 10 students from the colleges. But there is a clear-cut transparency, and my CEO and their HODs have a planned meeting every month with them. There is a regular review, as my colleagues have been sharing, that there has to be regular review. There need to be clarity in growth perspective. As far as growth plans are concerned, we have DHL is a big group in India, as well as Express Parcel, Supply Chain, Freight Forwarding, and Blue Dart. So we have internal job posting. Any of us can apply for those jobs after completion of 1.5 years. And we have very good cross-view communication where all the business units, HR and finance and IT and everybody meets once in a month. So we communicate, and we are open to give away our talent to my Express company or Blue Dart, so that I retain a talent within. So most of my colleagues are more than 10 to 15 years working in the company. Fortunately, I do not have never worked in public sector undertakings where the people tenure is very high because of the stability in the job. But even in DHL, Express, Blue Dart, their tenures are very high, and because we are able to retain the talent due to various courses we go, various growth path we show. And in my team in DHL, as well as, I'm sorry, I'm taking many times DHL name because I have no choice. This is the recent experience, so I'd like to share that. Most of us get an opportunity to work abroad, and out of my 50 top management team members, 3 are already posted outside. So these are shown clear-cut examples, leading by examples. So management team member, it always talks about in town halls that this is the growth path. So when the management trainee looks at the growth path, there is certainly definitely a retention, and that's how we retain the talent. We also have planned program called 2IC, second in command. So for every site manager, including me, I have to give a second in command declared, if in case I die tomorrow or I change the job, who is my next, and he's number 2. So there is a planned initiative of 2IC. 63% is internal field. Job rotations are extremely good. We have people shifting from Calcutta to Pune, and they apply for it. There is a clear-cut definition of job rotation, and we do never force anybody on job rotation. So job rotation, internal fill rate, 2ICs are playing a great role along with the communication tools. I am proud to say that DHL Supply Chain employee engagement scores and employee opinion survey scores are 4th in global. We are globally 4th with 86% achievements on active leadership, and this has not come just because of that. We have worked towards it. My boss is